the NBA playoffs on NBC.
Christian Javier brings it. There it goes. Swanson touches one off. 5-0 Atlanta here in the fifth. 6 seconds. Murray hits it downfield. It is caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 2 tonight on this stream. It is your boy Louis coming at you with another live stream with yet another video, reliving the myth of the GOAT, reliving the GOAT debate between Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, make sure those notifications are turned on, make sure you're sharing on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate it. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Wednesday evening. Hope you guys enjoy the game with me and G Money doing the Suns and the Heat. But again, make sure to hit the like as you guys come in. Right now, I'm going to do the Lakers and the Rockets right now. It is in overtime, and Jalen Green is taking over the game despite the fact that he hasn't gotten foul calls down the stretch in the fourth quarter. And the Rockets are up 5 right now, 125-120. Lakers had to take timeout 45 seconds into the OT. Jalen Green's already got 5 points right now for the Houston Rockets. So again, we're going back to this GOAT debate, man. Shout out to Ryan. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe, make sure to share. We're going to talk a little bit about the game right now before I get into this GOAT debate. But anyway, Jalen Green's got 27, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Şengün's got 18 points and 14 rebounds. He's got a double-double. And Josh Christopher has got 21 points and 5 rebounds right now. So we're actually going to do the commentary before we even get into the GOAT debate. All right, so we're doing Lakers and Rockets in OT right now. Smash the like, hit that subscribe, make sure to share. All right. They swing the ball. Austin Reeves gets wide open. He tries to dribble away from Şengün, but he's being guarded tightly. Austin's trying to cross him over, almost turns it over, and we got 8 on the shot clock. Here's Russ. Russ trying to attack the paint. He goes up. He can't go anywhere. They sandwich him. He turns it over. And Jalen Green goes back up. Oh, wow. Jalen Green is on a personal 7-0 run, and the Rockets take a 7-point lead on the Los Angeles Lakers. Lord have freaking mercy. LeBron's only 8 out of 23 from the field. LeBron drives to the basket. He has to kick it out. Malik Monk is attacking. Melo gets open. He shoots a 3. Oh, my goodness. He can't hit. Oh, boy. You know LeBron passed up that game-winning layup too, right, against Houston in regulation? All right, what's good, Sean? What's good? I'm just doing the commentary just a little bit. Jalen Green right now, he's on a personal 7-0 run. He's being guarded by Melo. They're doubling him. They kick it out. Christopher has to get it off. Oh, he hit it. Yo, the Rockets are up 10. Oh, my goodness. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. They down 10 to the Houston Rockets, my man. And Russ missed the layup. Oh, no. Gordon with the dagger. The Lakers are, ladies and gentlemen, the Lakers are done. The Lakers are done. The Lakers are done. They done. Bruh. Oh my god! Wow, this is embarrassing, man. Oh my goodness! What am I watching right now? Oh my god! You gotta be kidding me! What am I seeing right now? You mean to tell me that you passed up a wide open layup to win the basketball game so you could gloat? You give it to Melo. He misses the shot. But I bet you they're going to blame Carmelo Anthony for this loss. And they're going to blame Russ because he missed a couple of layups. Oh, my God. This is embarrassing. The Lakers are down 13 points. They're down 13 points to the Houston Rockets, the worst team in the Western Conference. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is oh my God. This is typical. This is like when the Lakers run out of that Gatorade symbol, in 2K, when you're tired. He passed up a wide open layup to give Melo a 3-point shot. You're going to tell me it's the right basketball play against the G League Rockets? You're going to pass up a wide open layup? You're going to tell me that you're scared of the free throw line in a regular season game against the Houston Rockets, and you down 10 in overtime right now? It's just pitiful. They down 8 right now, but now LeBron passing up. Nope. Russ can't hit the 3. Oh, my goodness. This is crazy. As Russ misses the wide open 3 from the corner, oh, my God, Russ is going to get attacked like no other. I think that's Josh. No, that's not Josh Richardson. That's Kevin Porter Jr. That's my bad. But you got to keep attacking. Don't. Oh, my God. Another 3 for the Houston Rockets by Martin Jr. Lakers down 11 points to the worst team in the Western Conference. And now LeBron wants to hit a 3. Now he wants to hit a 3. And he 9 of 24 from the field. You shaking your head? Dude, you should have won the game in regulation. These dudes really gave up 133 points to the Houston Rockets, man. Here comes another one by Jalen Green. Bro, Jalen Green, 136. Austin Reeves shoots a shot. He scores. It don't matter now. This game is over. Lord have mercy. Jalen Green didn't even have many points like that. He's got 32 points. Oh, man. You already know they're going to talk about the LeBron injury. You already know. You already know this. That's going to be the excuse. Another 3, this time by Şengün. If that ain't it. And now Malik Monk hits a 3. It's too late. Too little, too late. It's over. Shaking my head, man. It's embarrassing, bro. Oh, they're gonna get roasted. The Lakers out here were in control late in this game. They let the Rockets hang around. And not only are they not going to sweep the Rockets, now the Lakers are going to find themselves 9 games under 500, losing 139 to 130. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Shaking my head. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. So once again, LeBron tried to fool you, thinking that the 56 he scored. Let me get this straight, y'all. So he tried to fool you with the 56 against Golden State against a team that was reeling, right? They lose to the Spurs by 7 without him, and he comes back, and the Rockets beat you in overtime. The Rockets were up just by 13 points in overtime. You let the Rockets hit 5 threes in overtime. Şengün even hit a 3. Hold on. This is the Lakers right now. This is how I feel. Let's keep on laughing it up. Let's keep on laughing it up. We're gonna switch these laughs up right now. This is how the Lakers played right now. Down the stretch in the overtime. LeBron passing a wide open layup. Here we go. Let's just keep on laughing it up. This is hilarious, man. This is straight up hilarious. And Jay is happy. So keep on losing. They're the laughing stock of the NBA right now. This is a real laughing stock right here. Oh my goodness. Oh, where do we begin right here? This is just. Congratulations to the Houston Rockets on their 17th win of the season. That only puts them 32 games under 500, you know. That's what the Lakers just lost to. This just goes to show you that LeBron don't care. He don't care. Winnable games, you lose to the Spurs without Bron, and you lose to the Rockets with Bron, who are worse than the Spurs. This is why I continue to tell y'all that when it comes to this GOAT debate, LeBron James is not the GOAT. He's not. He can personally be your GOAT, but he's not universally regarded as a GOAT. Now, again, you've already heard what I said about Kobe in terms of where he is. And again, nostalgia-wise, I get it. Look, again, huge Kobe fan, but I'm sorry. Because what's starting to happen is, think about this right now. There's people who have turned on Bron who had him top 5, and now he's not even in their top 10 right now. With the way that he has just piss pant this Laker team this year. So yeah, we could blame Russ, we could blame AD, we could blame, like I said, we could blame Malik Monk, we could blame Melo, we could blame Frank Vogel and his rotations all we want. Who was the one that put this team together? It's the self-proclaimed king that's right behind me on this screen right here. Now I'm gonna say this again. Kobe has had his quit jobs, so I'm not here making excuses for Kobe Bryant. He's had his quit jobs, but let me ask y'all something. Have y'all ever seen Kobe Bryant conduct himself like this in a Laker uniform ever? Because I know what the Bron fans are gonna say. Oh yeah, Kobe, he tried to quit. He tried to leave the team. I'm gonna ask y'all again. Has Kobe Bryant ever conducted himself at this level? Where, first of all, the media hated Kobe, so there's no way they were really making excuses for him. So what excuses were they making for Kobe? They weren't. And let's be real. He's being pushed up in the top 10 only because of the fact that he's passed away. Let's be really honest, because they didn't even have him as a top 10 player. He's only being pushed because of the fact that he passed away. Say what you want about Kobe, but has he ever conducted himself as a basketball player like this? The answer is no. It's no. And this is the worst part. LeBron James was 9 of 26 from the field. He was 1 out of 9 from three-point range. And against the worst team in the Western Conference, you lose by 9 in overtime. Like I said, we could talk about Kobe's quit against the Phoenix Suns, Kobe. And you know what's so funny? It's like LeBron fans continue to, not LeBron fans, objective LeBron fans have held them accountable. But the fanboys, what's the excuse that LeBron went 9 of 26? You going to tell me it's his knee injury? You going to tell me it's his knee injury? No. He still took 26 shots. So it can't be the knee. He was still driving to the basket, so it can't be the knee, because if it was his knee, he wouldn't be able to drive to the basket. This is why when I say that we have to revisit this debate, I'm telling you right now, if these fanboys are upset that LeBron gets so much hate now, when I criticize him as a basketball player, wait until LeBron retires. Wait until he retires. It's going to get worse. Like I said, the problem that I have with people when it comes to this GOAT debate is that they think because they don't like the player, it's like they don't like the person. You got to separate the person from the player. Do I like Jordan as a person? Hell no. But the player is a different story. The problem with LeBron that I'm seeing is he's starting to show his personality traits on the court as he does off the court. And I said that Bron is probably a nice, cool, outgoing guy. But when you look at it, I don't ever want to hear that LeBron James is this unbelievable teammate and he makes his teammates better. If he makes his teammates better, why are they still losing? So you do need Anthony Davis, do you? Do you? I'm pretty sure the media is going to have excuses. We have to relook at this right now. See, here's the thing with Kobe. He was MJ light. Now you look at it this way. Look at it this way now. Bron's conversation when it came to greatest of all time was really more so between him, Bird, him, Kobe. That's who he should have been compared to, not Jordan. I'm going to say it again, and I don't care who gets mad. Jordan is in a league of his own. Bron can't never touch him. And the worst part about it is LeBron James really thought that he was going to cement his GOAT case by not only trolling Kevin Durant by bringing in Russell Westbrook, but then by going from switching his number 6 to number 20, from 23 to 6, thinking that he could try to convince Jeannie Buss in the Laker organization to get his jersey, to get 2 jerseys retired like Kobe Bryant. He's going to pass Kareem all time in points. You know, he already passed Kobe in points while he was in the Laker uniform. And it's like, Bron, you said yourself you was trying to continue Kobe's legacy, but yet you're trying to erase him, and it's just not going to work, sir. Kobe's legacy is going to live on, and it's going to live on more now that he passed away. Every time his anniversary comes up, when in terms of his death, he's going to live on. Kobe's, and you also have to understand something. Kobe was the Jordan of Staples Center. Kobe was the Michael Jordan of Staples Center. That's what Kobe was. Kobe was the Jordan of Staples. He was the Jordan of Los Angeles. That's why he's revered so much. Like I said, whether you love him or whether you hate him, whether you think he's overrated, underrated, or he's properly rated, Kobe's got his fans. And besides, this is how you know real fans are, because when Kobe wanted to get traded from the Lakers in 07, they booed him in opening night. And how did he win them over? He scored 45, even though if it wasn't a loss, again, they lost in a close game to the Rockets and T-Mac. He won the fans over back. See, so let me just look at the comment section, because I've missed a lot of comments. Shout out to Jay in the building. Don't compare these bums. Don't compare him to Kobe, Jordan, and all the all-time greats. And the reason that people are kind of getting mad at Bron too, they feel like that his career is kind of manufactured in the way that things have gone. That's how people feel. The Lakers lost to the Spurs and the Rockets, and those were some winnable games. Peter Walker, I'm lost for words. The Lakers is just straight garbage. Oh, shout out, Pete. Long time no see, man. Hope everything is good. And this is why I hate the fact that Russell Westbrook came to the Lakers, because, again, he's just a scapegoat. That's all it is. He's just a scapegoat. Like I said, I got my criticism of Russ. Russ is, again, it's more so of fundamentals, of decision-making. It ain't him as a person, bro. It's not. Bro, Jalen Green took over the game, bro. He took over the game. Shout out to Zeddy Perry in the building. Again, guys, smash the like, hit that subscribe. Smash that like button. And I'm sorry. The thing is, he's coming off as a selfish person, and his fans don't want to hear it. His fans don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Let's face it. Okay, you want to say that Kobe wasn't the best player on 3 championship teams? That's fine. That's cool. It was Shaq. It was Shaq. But if Kobe didn't want to win, don't you think that Kobe would have been so selfish that he would have even tuned out Phil Jackson? And I mean, he's tuned out Phil Jackson before. You know, he did it in 2013 and all that. But at the end of the day, Kobe won 5 chips with Phil Jackson. So you could say that he needed Phil Jackson, but at the very least, if Kobe never cared about Phil, he would have never trusted him to coach him. It's the same with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan wanted to be the leading scorer on championship teams. So he wasn't happy at first that Phil wanted his scoring average to dip all the way down to 24 points. But it resulted in 6 chips. Jordan learned how to be a better player, better teammate. Even if Jordan had punched Steve Kerr, even if Jordan had his run-in with Robert Parrish, even if he had his issues with Will Perdue and Bill Cartwright. Again, we're talking about you got to separate the person from the player. And this is why I said when we have to relive this GOAT debate, I don't have Kobe in my top 10, and I laid my reasons why. But the thing is, you could also kind of make a case that Kobe should be a top 10 player. I don't know about top 5. I don't know about the greatest of all time. But he has a case at least to be in the top 10. He has a case. People say, no, he doesn't have a case. Look, for me, I don't think he is. But again, he's borderline because you could make a case when you consider what he's accomplished. Because think about it this way, folks. Hakeem Olajuwon is, well, the 4-letter network, they don't have him as a top 10 player, but other people have Hakeem in their top 10. And Hakeem, like Kobe, has 1 MVP, and Hakeem has 2 finals MVPs. But Hakeem has been a defensive player of the year. People call Hakeem arguably the greatest skilled center in NBA history. Now, when it comes to greatest centers of all time, there's only three centers that can really challenge for the mantle, and that's Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Shaq was dominant. He was. But like Hakeem Olajuwon, he has 1 MVP, but the difference is he has 1 more finals MVP, and he won 3 straight finals MVPs than Hakeem. Now, if Hakeem would have won 1 more finals MVP, or if he would have had a regular season MVP to go along with those 2 finals MVPs, Hakeem would be in the top 10. He would. And this is what you got to ask yourself too, man. Like I keep saying to myself, when it comes to Bron, what has he really sacrificed? What has he sacrificed? I keep asking myself, people keep saying LeBron makes his teammates better, but they can't name me the teammates. And when they do, it's role players. It's not star players. That's number one. Then you also have the fact that what has LeBron really sacrificed in his career? He really hasn't sacrificed his numbers. If it's about winning and you're 37 years old, now I get the Lakers need his scoring to win. That's the way they decided to play because, again, it's the LeBron system. Right? Empty the Sports Clip says Tim Duncan's had a better career than Kobe and Bron. I have Tim. Wait. Let me see. Wait. I have Tim higher than both of them. Okay. I say Kobe probably had 1 more MVP. I would say he should be a 2-time MVP. I wouldn't go as far as 3 or 4. Some people go crazy as that. Jay says finals MVPs. Phil wanted Kobe to wreck the West and Shaq to kill the East. LeBron fans are oblivious to that. No, he doesn't. He needs to take a step back like Timmy did. Well, if you look at the perfect example would have to be the 2001 playoffs. Kobe and Shaq did it by design. Kobe dominated the West. Shaq dominated the East in the finals. It was Kobe who was coming up in big games. Shout out to Daniel Berry in the building. Again, guys, smash the like, hit the subscribe, make sure to share. Like I said, I don't usually ask for this, but if you guys would like to donate, you don't have to. Like I said, there's my PayPal, there's my Cash App in the description. And then obviously if you want to super chat, you can do that too. Again, that's up to you. You don't have to do it. But one of the reasons that I wanted to do this video was because of the fact that people have been lying about the 1991 NBA Finals and been trying to discredit Jordan in terms of his GOAT case as to his 1991 Finals MVP. No one ever said that Jordan didn't have help. Scottie Pippen did guard Magic Johnson, but I watched the entire series. And when you know what I saw? People said that because Scottie Pippen guarded Magic Johnson, the series turned around. Well, let me tell you a fun fact that people still fail to mention and they never mention about that series. In game one, did you know that Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen both had 5 fouls each in game one when they were trying to guard Magic Johnson? So there's that. You also have in game two, Scottie did guard Magic after Jordan got his second foul, and that turned the game around. So I give Scottie Pippen credit for that for sure. But in game three, Scottie Pippen fouled out of game three. Jordan ended up playing, I believe, 46 minutes in that game, tied the game, and then with Cliff Levingston, they were able to win in overtime in game three. They guarded each other. Shout out to 225 Girl, by the way. Smash a like. Shout out to Ron for the $2 donation. Appreciate it. But this is why we got to revisit this conversation, because Jordan guarded Magic the majority of the series. Dudes keep saying that it turned around when Scottie Pippen guarded Magic. I'll give you game two, but Jordan guarded Magic the majority of the series. And what people are forgetting too is that those guys only didn't guard Magic, they guarded other people. Jordan guarded Vlade Divac, Pippen guarded Vlade Divac, Jordan guarded James Worthy, Pippen guarded James Worthy. And there were moments in that series that James Worthy was cooking Scottie Pippen, but they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. And last time I heard, James Worthy is James Worthy. So like I said, if you're the greatest player of all time, you're in a tie game against the Houston Rockets, the G League Houston Rockets. Why did you pass up a game-winning layup to Carmelo Anthony for him to take the three, and you lose by damn near double digits in overtime? This is sad. If people think that LeBron's not hurting his legacy, he honestly is, believe it or not. Because I'm pretty sure Freddie is probably going to come in at some point and probably respond and probably give me some kind of response, and all this Bron bashing or whatnot. It's like, no. LeBron is the leader of the team. LeBron is the leader of the team. That's all I've heard from LeBron fans. LeBron is the leader of the team. Why are they playing this poorly? You can blame Frank Vogel and the rotations all you want. What I don't like is the fact that when things go wrong, Bron is pointing fingers, he's pouting, he's not giving a little bit of effort on defense. And an excuse is always ready by the mainstream media and by his fans. And it doesn't matter even if they beat the Houston Rockets. It's like, why are you struggling against a last place team? But you guys have 4 top 75 players in NBA history. But yeah, I already know what y'all going to say. Who the hell put Anthony Davis as a top 75 player? He's not a top 75 player. We proved it. You're right. But the bottom line is he's a top 75 player. So why are you losing with Hall of Famers on your team, future Hall of Famers on your team? It's because they're old. Who was the one that put the roster together? The fact that people are saying Rob Pelinka should have the balls to tell LeBron that no, I'm the one that's going to make the moves. I'm going to ask you again. Who did Jeannie Buss allow to call the shots? Who did she say was one of the most important Lakers in Laker history? LeBron James. So does Rob Pelinka really have power, or is it really LeBron calling the shots? Because, yeah, the GM may have the final say, but again, Bron is pulling the strings. So I don't want to hear that. So must I remind you, they're playing the Washington Wizards on Friday. Who's to say they don't struggle in that game and then they lose to them? And Phoenix, they just crushed the Miami Heat. Okay, I get it. There was no Jimmy Butler. But remember, Phoenix is missing Chris Paul. They're also missing Cam Johnson. They're also missing Frank Kaminsky. They almost lost campaign in the game tonight. And the fact that LeBron comes out here and be like, oh, everybody is dealing with injuries except for Golden State and Phoenix, when Devin Booker just came out of COVID protocol. Jay Crowder also came out of COVID protocol earlier in the season. How about the fact that Golden State is missing Gary Payton II? They're missing Draymond Green. They're missing Otto Porter Jr. They're missing James Wiseman. So they don't have Dario. The Suns don't have Dario Saric neither because he's out with his ACL injury. So I don't get why that when we look back on this debate, who's the greatest of all time? The mainstream media is the reason why we have this debate as it is anyway. They're the reason we have this debate. And I keep saying to myself, the Warriors were struggling. They were struggling. They just beat the Clippers, who just lost to the New York Knicks on Sunday. The Warriors were reeling. They were not playing well. And for the first half of that game against the Clippers, they weren't playing well neither. Shannon Sharp out here coming on TV. Oh, yeah, LeBron, it's like a beyond the 10. You know, it's not enough on the virtuoso that LeBron put out there. It was against a struggling Golden State Warriors team. Shannon Sharp would have you think that the Warriors have won 11 straight games coming into Crypto.com arena. The Rockets are the worst team in the West, and you just lost to them. And this is what's killing me about this whole GOAT debate, because LeBron, remember, when he goes out, the team struggles. But they're struggling with LeBron. Did you know that they just lost to the Rockets? But what are you going to say? He's 37 years old. Oh, now he's 37 years old. But when they win, LeBron is the GOAT. Talk your ish, King, right? Yeah. So, but yet for some reason, you guys cannot can't get the job done. But you got Kobe Bryant out here, who I've heard people complain that, oh, Kobe scored 62 points against a terrible defense in the Dallas Mavericks. I'm sorry, the Dallas Mavericks actually were in the top 5. They finished 7th that year. They finished 7th, but at the time they were 5th when Kobe faced them when he scored those 62 3/4. As a matter of fact, he outscored the entire Dallas Maverick roster 62, 61, and 3. Did you know that Kobe could have scored 90 points in that game? And what did Kobe say? Phil Jackson actually gave him an opportunity to go into the game to break the Laker record. You know what Kobe said? This was his quote. He said, no, what matters is that we get the win. And the Lakers were already up by 20-plus points. Now, if Kobe wanted to stat pad, he could have went into the game. Now, Kobe did have a little bit of a stat pad season in 06, but the thing is he had to do it because his second best scorer was Lamar Odom. Look how long it took Lamar Odom to become the reliable player he became later on in the championship years from 08 to 2010. The 2006 Dallas Mavericks had the 7th best defense in the NBA that year. The very next year, they had the 3rd best defense. So Kobe, in terms of his scoring, actually had impact because his team, you're telling me you're going to rely on Kwame Brown? You know how a lot of people feel about Kwame Brown. Just ask Stephen A. Snitch, who's made a career of defaming Kwame Brown. You have Smush Parker. You have Sasha Vujacic. Much more important later down the line. You have Brian Cook. Obviously, you had Lamar Odom. You had Chris Mim. You had Luke Walton. Let me ask you guys a question. Should we rank players? Should we rank players? Should we really rank basketball players? Or should we just appreciate how great they are? Let me know your comments in the comment section. Let me know. Let me look at the comments real quick. Magic, 91 finals. Points, rebounds, assists. Pippen on Magic. Interesting, Jay. Interesting you bring that up. So when Pippen guarded Magic, Magic averaged 18.5 points, 12.8 rebounds, 7.5 assists. So you would have thought that Scotty would have shut Magic down, but quite honestly, his numbers are kind of pretty much the same, pretty close across the board, from points to assists. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. You're right. You're right, Jay. Sorry. The assist was 12. I forgot because he averaged double-digit assists in the finals. You're right. See, this is my problem. People don't do their research. This is what kills me about LeBron fans. They come up with these hypotheticals and they don't do research at all. They're too lazy to do research. They're too lazy. They're way too lazy. Go watch those 91 finals. Michael Jordan, for the majority of the series, guarded Magic Johnson. Pippen gets credit for one game. Scotty guarded Magic too in the series. The question I have is what's your criteria? Because let's face it, this era favors more modern more perimeter players than they do really big men. And it's also if it's the fact that guys like Kobe, Bron, and Jordan excite you, you're going to rank them above guys like Wilt, Russell, Kareem, because again, those guys were not fun to watch. They just were guys who got the job done. Or Tim Duncan. Again, another thing that's killing me about LeBron fans too is that they continue to try to measure a player through cumulative stats. So they're easily going, oh, LeBron has more points than Jordan, but that's because he played longer. If I played the longevity game with Michael Jordan, do you know how many points Jordan left off the table with his 2 retirements? Well, actually 3 retirements now when you consider that he came back. How many points did Jordan leave off the table? That's another potential. So let's see, a year and a half, right? Then you factor in the 64 games he missed in the 86 season. Then you factor in the 3 years that he left after 98. How many years is that? How many points is that? You're talking about 6,000 to about 7,000 points he left there. And then you're talking about another 2,000 points and then probably another close to 2,000. Bro, Jordan left about slightly over 10,000 points on the table. Jordan probably will be at 40, close to 42,000. And if that were the case, LeBron, you know how long LeBron would have to play to catch that? You're talking about he would have to play until he's about 44, 45 years old. And the thing is, even with statistics, you have to put context and you have to put logic. You got to put logic. That's why when I revisit this stuff, I'm just saying to myself, and then and also I got to say this also with the double standards of Dennis Rodman, because this really kills me. When he was with Detroit, what positions was Dennis Rodman guarding? He was guarding the 1 position, the 2 position, and the 3 position. So he would guard Jordan, Pippen, he would guard Magic, he would guard Larry. This was prime Dennis in Detroit. I'm sorry, didn't he win 2-time Defensive Player of the Year with Isaiah Thomas? It's so crazy that they always say that Jordan had Dennis Rodman. Jordan had Dennis Rodman. Isaiah Thomas had Dennis Rodman too. That's why I laugh. Isaiah Thomas has disrespected his own team to diminish Michael Jordan because they played in the same era. They didn't play in the 90s. He didn't play him in the 90s as much because Isaiah's an 80s player. But, you know, Dennis Rodman was not in his prime when he was with the Bulls. He played solid defense and he played big men. He knew how to play Shaq. But my point is that, yes, Rodman helped Jordan win championships, but Rodman did not make any All-NBA teams. The only thing he did was make All-NBA first-team defense, and that was in the first year he was there. I guess people forgot that he was he almost committed suicide before he went to San Antonio. He was not well liked by him, and David Robinson didn't get along. As a matter of fact, Rodman called David Robinson soft, and David Robinson said he was a nutcase dealing with him playing for San Antonio. He was traded for Will Perdue, for God's sakes. The man was almost out of the NBA, and you got LeBron fans running around. Oh, yeah, well, Jordan, he had Rodman. He had Rodman. Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars had Dennis Rodman too. A prime Dennis Rodman. So the way I see it, I remember a time that Detroit was struggling to win basketball games after the year they won the title in '89. It's funny how they continue to say that, oh, Jordan benefited from expansion, right? I'm about to cook that too. Let's go back to the 72-10 season with the Bulls, right? Here's a fun fact. Did you know that the Bulls played, in terms of expansion teams, did you know that the Bulls played the expansion teams a total of 18 times in the regular season in '96? You know what their record was against expansion teams? They went 14-4. But LeBron fans would have you think that they are playing expansion teams 41 times. You get 41 times against good teams and 41 against bad teams. They only played expansion teams 18 times in '96, and they had a 14-4 record. So that means, you know what their record was against non-expansion teams? 58-6. But, according to LeBron fans, the expansion era was what really watered things down. Oh, yeah, it's true. It's true. So how come they only played them 18 times in the regular season? Well, you can't say they had no center. You mean to say they didn't have a dominant center, but they had a center. That's Luke Longley. It's just he was not a dominant center. The Bulls never had a dominant center. So yeah, I give credit to Luke Longley. I give credit to Tony Kukoc. Another thing, Tony Kukoc went to the Hall of Fame for his career in Croatia. It wasn't because of his basketball career in the NBA. He was a very good sixth man. He helped the Bulls win 3 championships. Of course. No one's denying the contributions of Tony Kukoc. Tony was good. He was great. One of the pre-stretch fours of his time. But his NBA career is very empty. He has a 6th man of the year. That's all he really has. Look at the other teams he played for after that. He didn't do much after that, and he pretty much was older. Tony's a stretch 4. And what was Tony's liability? He couldn't defend. LeBron fans would have you think that Tony not only played offense, but he played defense when he only played offense. And first of all, this is another thing that people need to get in, understand too. This is how selfish some of Jordan's teammates are. You look at guys like Craig Hodges. You look at guys like Stacey King. They really should thank Michael Jordan for the type of person that he was and the type of attention and market that he brought to the Bulls and to the NBA. There's a reason why Stacey King is an analyst for the Chicago Bulls. There's a reason Will Perdue is working for the Bulls organization on NBC Chicago. There's a reason that a lot of those guys on that first 3-peat Bulls team have jobs. There's a reason for that. And that's because of the coverage that they were able to receive when playing alongside Jordan. That's how special Jordan was. I'm not sitting here diminishing what they didn't do. But to sit here and say that, they're making it seem like you have to understand something. The Bulls are going to start and end with Jordan because he was the one that turned them around in terms of having them become a winner again in Chicago. Now, championship, you need pieces. Scottie Pippen was a huge part in that and winning 6 championships. LeBron fans just easily go, oh, yeah, you see, with Scottie Pippen, there's no championships. Without Scottie Pippen, Jordan didn't win shit without Scottie Pippen. Okay, let me turn it back. What has Scottie won without Michael? Because you guys just want to run around and make that claim that Michael didn't win anything without Scottie. You're right. He didn't win anything without Scottie. Scottie didn't win anything without Michael neither. Do y'all understand when Scottie went to the Blazers back in 2000, how much that he was trying to win to prove to Phil Jackson that he could win without him? Do you remember that? and his Blazers ended up not winning in 2000? Why do you think Scottie resents the fact that he was never an MVP? He didn't win a Defensive Player of the Year. You could make the case that he should have been Defensive Player of the Year back in '94. But they acting like Scottie was not on a very good, deep Blazers team. And like I said before, Kobe Bryant gets the short end of the stick because not only is he hated by the media because of how polarizing he was, how much they loved Shaq more than he did, more than him. I mean, at one time, he was supposed to be the golden child at one point, but he wasn't going to get that kind of treatment. Smash the like. He wasn't going to get that kind of treatment. So this is the way I rank players. The reason that I say the things that I said when it came to Kobe and comparing to Bron, the reason I have Bron as a better player than Kobe was for this reason. It came down to this. What do both players bring to the table? And in my personal opinion, as much as it pained me to say it, Bron brings more to the table than Kobe Bryant. That's the reason I have LeBron ranked above Kobe. It's what they bring to the table. We could talk about Mamba mentality, this and that, but when we talk about, again, eye test, Bron brings more to the table than Kobe, which is why I have Bron above Kobe Bryant. No disrespect to the Mamba, rest in peace. And I have my reasons for it. What I don't appreciate, and which is why I had to do this, is I don't appreciate when I rank a player, someone gets emotional about it, and they run to another channel to duck smoke. So when I ask you, where do you rank your players all time? Not only do you disrespect me by getting upset, by getting emotional, but you run to another channel and tell them that how I have LeBron in the top 5. That person makes videos about me. That person didn't have the wherewithal to address me in an email because that person had my email. And then expected me to go on that person's channel to help his views. So basically what that person did was that person decided to be a sneak disser, one of my own subs. On top of that, one of the people that I thought I thought I was cool with, right? I don't mess with that person anymore, and I don't need to. We go our separate ways. They do their thing, I do mine. I don't need to address that person, whatever, in any of my videos or whatever. But I just thought I had to put that out there because this was part of the reason that this happened. See, because I've had people come and say, oh, the only reason that I ranked LeBron above as number 5 was because I thought that, oh, it was going to get clicks and people were going to be like, oh, yeah, you see, there's somebody that respects LeBron. You see, see, I'm glad he changed his mind. People really thought that I did this for views. That if I put LeBron in the top 5, that, oh, yeah, he's finally seen the light. Let me go, give him congratulations and show appreciate, like, finally. You can disagree with me all you want. I don't care. It's your opinion. But when you get emotionally upset, when you can't even explain your reasoning and you go run to another channel just because you're upset about what I said, bro, I don't respect that. I don't respect that. That's childish on your part. That means you can't confront me about the truth. You can't confront me because you got a problem on how I do it. The way I have my criteria is different from yours. It's different. Like Sean says, he thinks Kobe brings more to the table than LeBron does. And I say no. As a matter of fact, I say that some of Kobe's defensive selections are overrated. That's just my opinion. I can make a case that Dwayne Wade deserved first-team All-NBA over Kobe Bryant. He did. Dwayne Wade actually brought more to the table defensively when it came to not just his on-ball defense, but then also he was able to put the statistics to back it up. Dwayne made 3 second-team all-defense teams. Dwayne should have had more selections. Now, how many more selections should he have? That depends, but he should have had at least one first-team All-NBA defense. He should have had at least one. He had 3 second teams. Kobe got some of those by reputation. People are not going to like when I say that, but again, that's just the truth. The thing is, when I watch Kobe's defense, his best defensive years were in his championship years, the first three-peat, and then in the last 3 straight final strips. Those were Kobe's best defensive years. And then if you want to make an argument, I would say 2006, when he led the Lakers to the playoffs. Oh no, Bron is much worse. You know what really kills me? It's amazing to me how Bron has more defensive metrics than Kobe. It's so weird like that, which is why the stats are so strange. But you know what's so crazy? The fact that LeBron stopped playing defense in his last year in Miami, that was the last time he made an all-defensive team. And then he ended up making one with the Lakers. But it's just like he went about 5 to 6 years without defending. There's many, many different tapes of Bron literally standing on defense, literally standing, watching his guy go by. Take a look at the 2017 NBA Finals. How many times he gave Durant open looks? How many times Andre Iguodala and guys like Klay Thompson got to drive to the basket? Every time I talk about that series, I said, it's easy to look at numbers so that you can blame everybody else for you to not to defend. When the Cavaliers had a good team, they refused to slow the game down. They tried to play at the Warriors' pace. And they never really tried to put the effort and tried to defend. They tried to play their style and tried to outscore them. And they got gentlemen's swept for that. How many times were those guys standing on defense? I see LeBron and Kyrie argue to the refs while a play is happening and the Warriors score down at the end of the court. And in that series, Klay Thompson played awful. He didn't play great. Draymond Green didn't play great. Steph Curry had 27, 9, and 8, but he only shot 44%. So yeah, should we rank players? It depends. The media is the one who started this, and a lot of people are like, well, it creates great debate. People are saying, why can't we appreciate Kobe? Why can't we appreciate LeBron? Why can't we appreciate Jordan? Because we have selective bias. That's the problem. We have nostalgia. Nostalgia is what clouds our judgment when it comes to ranking these all-time great NBA players. Don't you see that we don't talk about? Appreciate it, Daniel Berry. Thank you. Well, like I said, that's your opinion. Again, I respect it. I feel like Kobe and Wade are very close defensively. I think Wade was slightly a better overall defender, but I think Kobe edges him out in on-ball defense. I think Kobe was a better on-ball defender than D. Wade. But again, we have our opinions. I'm not going to get upset that Sean, disagrees with me. That's cool. That's his opinion. Big Kobe fan. But this is another thing that I need to say as well. And like I said, Sean, you will get your time. I just wanted to do this kind of like this quick little hour because I wasn't going to waste a lot of time, but I'll revisit this video another time. I'm going to do another part 2 series where you guys can chime in on your opinions, and I'll have a panel for sure. Exactly. You the homie, bro. You the homie. You the homie. We could go back and forth. It don't matter. Like I said, at the end of the day, I don't take this seriously. I just get mad at the emotional ones that are taking this to the grave, that you talk about this way about another man and you're just nothing but a hater. You hate him. No, you guys don't know what the word hate means. I hate a player who's in my top 5. I have LeBron as the 5th best player of all time. That's hating. No, that's disrespect because I don't have him as number 1. No, no. The funny thing is I had LeBron in my lower top 10 and he's now 5th. So if I hate him that much, then you got issues. Then you got issues. Like I said, you and Jay, I could deal with the comment section back there, man. But this is why I continue to say that it's very disrespectful what LeBron James is doing. This guy is one of the greatest players of all time, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. He's not a Mount Rushmore player, no matter what Stephen A. Snitch tells you. That's his opinion. He has him as the 2nd greatest player of all time. It's fine. It's like I said, when you look at a lot of these rankings, people tend to favor perimeter players over big men, depending on who you're talking to. But I told you like this, since 2010, I felt that LeBron has really not had humility for the game. LeBron feels entitled and it's all about me. That's LeBron's mentality. See, I didn't get that vibe from him in his first 7 years in the NBA. I got it ever since he went to Miami. I've told y'all before, and I've even put him in the short clips. Bron is very, very insecure. Because if you're great, think about this. If you're the greatest player of all time, why do you have to constantly seek validation from the media and your fans? In my short clip, I put LeBron says he's always seeking for a LeBron hater. But I thought you don't care about the haters. If you don't care about the haters, why are you always seeking for one? If you're the greatest player of all time, why do you have to constantly self-praise yourself? The others people are the ones that are supposed to praise you. I mean, for God's sakes, you praised a 56-point performance and people are just like, he self-praised the 56-point performance, and I'm like, well, okay, if he wants to do that on social media, fine. But it's like, you got to come back and win the next game, and you didn't play. Okay, you got knee soreness. Your team lost. Okay, you come back, and they're like, well, if LeBron was there, we would have won 2 straight. But then you lose to the Rockets. And the thing is, your body language, you're quitting. You're quitting on your team that you handpicked. You know what's so crazy that we get on Kobe about this? Check this out. Kobe Bryant wanted Jason Kidd. Did he get Jason Kidd? No. Kobe wanted to get traded to the Chicago Bulls in 2007. He was almost traded to Detroit. Did Jerry Buss decide to trade Kobe Bryant? No. Kobe didn't get what he wanted. He tried to get what he wanted, but he didn't get what he wanted. Kobe tried to go to Chicago because they thought that the Lakers were going to keep Shaq. Once they let Shaq go, Kobe ended up re-signing with the Lakers because they knew they couldn't lose him, because who was going to watch the Lakers if Kobe didn't sign? You have to understand that Kobe is a main attraction. Kobe sells tickets. Kobe's demands were blocked. He didn't get what he wanted. The only thing that he got was really the Pau Gasol. But let's put things into context with that too, ladies and gentlemen. In 2007, 2008, the Lakers were at a 50-win pace. But this is what people don't talk about. See, this is when you don't do your research. In 2008, the Lakers were at a 50-win pace in the West. The Lakers were actually playing really well. The reason that Pau Gasol got traded to the Lakers was because Andrew Bynum got hurt. Bynum tore his ACL. Are you also forgetting that Trevor Ariza missed pretty much almost all of that year? So they had to make the move for Pau Gasol. And I'm gonna say this again. Pau Gasol deserves the recognition. Kobe Bryant has recognized Pau Gasol. He's on record many times saying that if it wasn't for Pau Gasol, Kobe would have not won those NBA championships. It's the fans that diminish Pau Gasol. I don't do it because I know what Pau meant to the Lakers. Pau was an easy fit in the triangle offense. Kobe got to lead. You got to see Kobe lead. Kobe actually learned to be mature. He learned to be a better teammate. Now, we know what happened post-championships. We get all that. But Bynum tore his ACL, and it was when Kobe accidentally bumped in, and it was a game against the Grizzlies. I remember it like crazy. Kobe thought that the Lakers had no shot. I remember the face he made when he got injured, when Bynum tore his ACL. That's the reason why they made the move. You know Stephen A. Smith. Oh, they created a heist when they got Pau Gasol. Okay, if you want to say that, fine. Yeah, the Lakers pulled a heist and they got Pau Gasol for Kwame Brown and the draft rights to Mark. That's cool. Bynum did make an all-star team with 2012. So if Kobe doesn't really make anybody better, how come Pau had his best years with the Lakers? Oh, yeah, it's because of Phil Jackson. Okay. How come Andrew Bynum made an all-star team and Phil wasn't coaching the Lakers in 2012? Lamar Odom won Sixth Man of the Year playing alongside Kobe Bryant. Sasha Vujacic became an important role player for those Laker championship teams playing alongside Kobe. Heck, Luke Walton had good years playing with Kobe, especially in the championship years. You also check this out as well. Shout out to Jimmy too. I'm sorry. No, that's all right. That's the wrong stream. I'm looking at something else. My bad. How about this too? Kobe had his struggles. When Shaq got traded to Miami, it was a rebuilding period for the Lakers and Kobe. It was a new time. It was a new era. It was different for Kobe. Kobe was with a young team. Kobe didn't play with great pieces. I mean, Caron Butler was probably his second best piece other than Lamar Odom, and Caron was only there for 1 year. Kobe's backcourt mate was Chucky Atkins, and they upgraded that with Smush Parker. It's easy to say, oh yeah, he didn't do anything until they got Derek Fisher, who played with Shaq too. Because Pau was supposed to be on the trading block. Nobody wanted to give up young players and draft picks. The Lakers were willing to do it. But again, why did the Lakers do it? It's because Andrew Bynum tore his ACL. But you'll never hear people talk about that. He tore his ACL. That was the reason they made the move. And then if you look at the 2005 season, what people fail to mention is, the Lakers were only 28-38 in the games Kobe played. There's no excuse for that. They were 10 games under 500. I hold Kobe accountable. Kobe, you got your team. How come you were 10 games under 500? You don't hear excuses from me. Kobe missed the playoffs. But what you failed to mention was Kobe was injured. Lamar Odom was injured. They had Rudy Tomjanovich as coach, and then Rudy Tomjanovich stepped down to health reasons. Frank Hamlin, the assistant coach who was under Phil Jackson with the Bulls and with the Lakers, he led the Lakers to a 10-29 record, which tells you that Frank Hamlin really can't coach. And the Lakers were not a good team. They were terrible after they were 24-19. They lost 29 of their last 39 games, and they missed the playoffs. See, I can hold Kobe accountable, but it's like people just continue to lie. Here's another thing that people tend to lie. In order to really measure a player in terms of their GOAT case, you have to measure their peak. People continue to try to they cherry pick. They do cumulative and longevity stats to try to compare players. The best way to really compare a player is by their peak. It's difficult to compare Jordan and LeBron for this reason. Jordan was on the way out when LeBron came in. That's number one. Number two, When LeBron played Kobe, LeBron was entering his prime as Kobe was leaving his prime too. And getting on Andrew Bynum, as you guys are mentioning in the comment section, Bynum was never the same player after he made the All-Star team. He never suited up for Philadelphia when he signed with them. Andrew Bynum had an identity crisis as well, changing the style of his hair. Like, the dude was all over the place. He had potential, but I remember Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said that he had a very lazy work ethic. He had the potential to be a great center, but he had a very lazy work ethic. These were Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's words because he worked for the Lakers. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Smash the like, hit that subscribe. That's what really kills me about this. Kobe went through the struggles and made it work. Despite the fact that he wanted to leave the Lakers, despite the fact that he's quit in a couple of playoff games. Because you can mention all that. I'm not holding any excuses for Kobe. It's his fault for 2004. He tried to get the finals MVP and the Lakers lost in 5. But you also failed to mention as well that, do you remember that Phil Jackson was also sticking it to Kobe Bryant because Kobe was trying to get that finals MVP? I remember Rick Fox and Derek Fisher came to Phil Jackson and they wanted to start to help the Lakers in the starting lineup for the experience. You know what Phil told them? No. And this is what I have to also say about Phil. Phil won championships with Michael. By the time that he went to Kobe and Shaq, he already had 6 championships. Kobe and Shaq had not won anything. Michael and Scottie, together, they won 6. With Kobe and Shaq, he won 3 more. And with Kobe, he won 2 more. But that was because by the time that Kobe and Shaq got Phil, he had already been a 6-time NBA champion. It's different. With Jordan and Pippen, they won 6 championships together. It was different. It was different. So when people say he didn't have a Hall of Fame coach in Phil Jackson, did y'all forget that Phil was an assistant with Doug Collins before he got the job? Jordan made Phil and Phil made Jordan. Or you could say Tex Winter made Phil. Tex Winter made Michael Jordan. Better. Phil Jackson is a personality manager. Yes, he has a brilliant mind, but he is a personality manager. The triangle offense was Sam Barry's offense that Tex Winter ended up adopting and changing the name because that's originally Sam Barry's offense. It became the triangle under Tex. The triangle offense was something Doug Collins ignored because he thought it was too complicated. So they were playing the Michael Jordan system before they played an actual system. Do y'all understand now? Also, when it comes to LeBron James, his teams don't practice. Since he went back to Cleveland, his teams do not practice. Why is it that the Lakers are struggling if LeBron makes his players better? That's telling me that they don't practice because the Lakers clearly have chemistry issues. You look at Malik Monk and Horton Tucker, they a lot of times tend to go one-on-one. Horton Tucker needs the ball in his hands. Russell Westbrook needs the ball in his hands. You can clearly see that the Lakers don't practice. Why are they losing to teams that they should beat? They don't practice. You can just tell there's no chemistry. You can see it. But the LeBron fanboys will tell you it's Russ's fault. It's AD's fault for not being healthy. It's Frank Vogel's fault for not for his rotations. Again, you can blame all of them. That's fine. I'm on record as saying Frank Vogel does not know how to deal with rotations. Rob Pelinka does not have a set of balls because, again, Bron is calling the shots. Jeannie Buss allowed it too, which is why I continue to say that Jeannie Buss is the woman that has the Lakers right where they are. And this is why I have to get on Magic Johnson too. For as great of a player as Magic Johnson is, you could tell that he's talked so much crap about Russ, but then he's the same person that comes back and say, oh, yeah, Laker Nation, let's rally around Russell Westbrook. Yeah, Russ makes a lot of excuses. Russ has a personality problem. You can see it. Because let me ask you this question, and this will be a future video. Why is it? Did you know that his wife, Nina Westbrook, has 2 occupations? She is a marriage counselor and she's a therapist. Ask yourself this question. Why is she battling Russell Westbrook's battles? In terms of the whole name Westbrook. Now, I heard what Russ said about his son is proud of saying the word Westbrook. I get that. So I can understand that. But to be honest with you, Skip Bayless was never giving death threats to Russ. He was just criticizing him when it comes to his basketball. And you know what's so funny? Skip didn't even invent the name Westbrook to begin with. He's just followed a trend that started with whoever started the name Westbrook. That's almost like finding an excuse for poor play. Again, Russell Westbrook, the reason that he's struggling this badly is because he's exposed playing for the Lakers. He got excuses for it playing for the other small market teams. Now that he's playing with actual championship expectations, he's getting exposed. I already knew this. Jay already knew this. A lot of you guys in the chat already do this. You don't believe me? Look up the articles. Look up the videos. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you guys. Should we be ranking players? No. But why do people do it? It creates discussion. It creates discussion. The fact that Russ used his son as an excuse, as a shield. And you know what's so crazy too? This is how you know that you can get to Russell Westbrook. He doesn't like being called Westbrook. If Russ really didn't care, he wouldn't have talked about it. He would have brushed it to the side. But he said, but you can tell it affects him. Russ, do you understand that now by you doing this, you're an easy target? You made yourself an even more easy target. And come to think of it, I have another question for Miss Westbrook. Again, she's a very wonderful woman. You guys have 3 kids together. How come you don't? How come you haven't addressed the fact that your husband was out here cross-dressing? But and here's another thing. Not only is your husband cross-dressing out here wearing women dresses, right? How about this as well? How come you haven't addressed Shaquille O'Neal? How come you haven't addressed Kendrick Perkins? How come you haven't addressed Shannon Sharp? Those are black men who have said Russ. They've criticized Russ in a very bad way. How come you haven't addressed them when they've called them out? They're black men, right? But because it's Skip, we're race baiting, aren't we? I know Skip has a history of this and living off of somebody's name, but this just sounds to me as an excuse. And we know Russ, he doesn't like to hold himself accountable for the stuff that he does. So when I ask myself, Mrs. Westbrook, you're a wonderful wife. You have wonderful kids. You do so much for your community. Much power and respect to you. So I'm not here disrespecting you. I'm just out here asking questions, trying to find out. You've had black men disrespect Russell Westbrook, but I hear you focusing on Skip Bayless. Guys, I want you to think about that for a second. You've had other black men call out Russell Westbrook, but for some reason, it's about Skip Bayless. Or is it maybe because she's accepted the feminine mentality of Russell Westbrook? And I'm sorry, I don't respect Russ for that because you're hiding behind your son. If this stuff didn't bother you, you wouldn't have said that. You would have just moved on. You would have just focused on basketball. Who knows? The man actually literally put a dress on and dyed his hair. I haven't seen Russ dye his hair since. And the fact that the media all of a sudden wants to act like they care for Kobe, and I see all of these females gathering around Vanessa and the girls. It's a feminine thing. Again, nothing personal. I got nothing personal against that, but I'm just saying how Kobe's labeled as such a rapist. But look at all these females that are coming to his defense and asking about, look how he's such a father in this. I said, but at one time, we couldn't have a rapist represent the NBA. We've had females try to come after Kobe. We've had females try to shoot their shot with Kobe. I've seen it. This was while Kobe was still playing. I mean, Halle Berry sure loves Kobe Bryant. I mean, he's her favorite player. I've seen white women in news when Kobe has appeared on news channels shoot their shot at Kobe. Don't believe me? Do the research. Look up the videos. And that's why this is why I said that when I see cross-dressing males want to act like tough, fake ass gangsters, I can't take them seriously. I can't. Dennis Rodman is a different story. The personality that Dennis Rodman was, Russ can never be that. That's why Rodman could pull it off. Russ is not Dennis Rodman. His personality, there's just no way. There's no way. And Rodman did not give a F. He didn't give an F. He was going to do whatever the hell he wanted, and Rodman still came out and produced on the basketball court. Oh no, you're definitely gonna get your shot to cook on these topics, for sure, Sean, for sure. But like Jay said, Karam, what kind of fashion guy wears a dress when he's out here trying to act like he's a man though? And that wasn't man of you to hide behind your son as to why you're upset with the Westbrook man. Who knows, 225 girl? Who knows? Allegedly, it could be. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, just take a look at D-Wade. Now he wants to act all straight now that he's on TNT. I mean, he was inspired by Rodman when he dyed his hair red. And I'm going to say this again. This is what the old heads are upset about when it comes to these new players. It's the entitlement that the new players have. Now, do I blame Kobe for putting himself in that situation with the white girl in Colorado? Yeah. You got to understand who you are. But at least Kobe admitted he did infidelity. And the fact that people are just talking all this crap about Kobe is such a bad person and all that stuff. Do we know who LeBron is behind closed doors? Do we know who Michael Jordan is behind closed doors? Did you notice that they've never really talked about Michael's wife, Juanita, ever again? And Juanita was somebody who didn't like to be in the spotlight. We don't even really know what happened between them. They never really talked about Juanita like that anymore. And Savannah doesn't like to be in the limelight neither. She just has these small little occasions where she'll talk about her husband on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. She did the Wash King post not too long ago when he scored the 56 against Golden State. And I know she loves her husband dearly, but you don't see. I mean, do y'all know that Bron had asked people out in the Olympics? I think he had asked, was it an Olympic swimmer or was it a skier? One of the two. Ask a person out on a date. Read the article. But they're gonna say I'm hating. You don't know what he's been through. He's this great person. It's like you can't. If you're gonna say that about Bron, but you're gonna call Jordan and Kobe cheaters, that just shows how biased you are. Because all these NBA, look at Carmelo Anthony. Look at the situation with Lala. Like, I don't want to hear it. Bron's got his secrets too. So does Chris Paul. All them dudes, man. So when it comes to this GOAT debate between Kobe, Bron, and MJ, why are we never going to appreciate these players? Because of our emotional selective recency bias. That's why. That's why. And when you see LeBron doing the stuff that he's doing on the court on purpose because he didn't get what he wanted, sure, Jordan and Kobe, arrogant, cocky, but they wanted to win. They wanted to win. Was it the best way? Maybe not to other people, but it was for them, and it worked. So I'm going to say this about Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson is a personality manager. That's what he is. That's what he is. When he coached Jordan, they had not won anything. They ended up winning 6 together. So they were along for the ride for 6. When he came to LA, he was already established as a coach. Shaq and Kobe had nothing. Shaq did have a finals appearance, and Kobe was still a young developing player. But it's different. It's different. It's amazing to me that Kobe doesn't even get enough credit for the 2 championships that Kobe went through some struggles from 2005 all the way to 2007. Those were some 3 tough years. He went through the struggle. They rebuilt the team. They started from scratch, and Kobe, as a result, won 2 championships in 3 years. Back to back. 3 straight finals, 2 chips. That right there is the epitome of hard work and going through the grind and becoming a champion. Even if he had Phil. Imagine if Kobe didn't win championships with Phil as the guy. Would we be talking about Kobe the same way like we do now? The answer is no. Even with what he's accomplished in his career. No, they had to kind of rebuild. They retooled by 2008, but it was kind of a rebuild because they had to start over. It was not the same. It was not the same team. Look who they brought in. They have Brian Grant at one point. They have Vlade Divac, who ended up retiring. So that's what I'm saying, guys. These are 3 all-time great players, but you have one player that's trying to do his best to try to erase their memory of another one, and it's just not going to happen. Kobe put 20 years of blood, sweat, and tears in a Laker uniform, even if he tried to leave. Even if he tried to leave. He played 20 years in that uniform and won 5 chips, 3 with Shaq, 2 with Powell. And for that, I respect Kobe for that. Because Kobe almost got traded 3 different times, and Kobe almost left 3 different times. And another lot that people keep saying about Kobe is that Kobe missed the playoffs 6 times. They just say 6 times, and he missed it in the last 5 seasons. People stop lying. 2013, Game 78, Kobe tore his Achilles. The very next year, Kobe missed 76 games because he tore his ACL. He was playing with a rotator cuff for years, and the very next year, Kobe tore completely his rotator cuff on a dunk. Missed 47 games. The fanboys will never mention that, and they'll say, "Oh, I don't care. I don't care. Kobe didn't lead them to the playoffs." Jeannie Buss and the Laker organization told Kobe that they were rebuilding. Kobe's body gave out on him after his Achilles injury. Players wanted to play with Kobe until he got hurt. Once he got hurt, it was over. The mainstream media wanted Kobe out of the NBA after how badly he was playing in the 2015-2016 season in the beginning. And that's when Kobe knew his time was up. That's when Kobe knew his time was up. And you know what's so funny about LeBron James that we fail to mention when it comes to this GOAT case too? When he left Cleveland, Cleveland got 3 number 1 picks in 4 years. The only one that didn't pan out was Anthony Bennett, but that was because it was a weak draft. Did you notice that before LeBron arrived to Staples, but after Kobe's retirement, they were able to get number 1, number 2 picks, Brandon Ingram, number 2 pick D'Angelo Russell, number 2 pick Lonzo Ball. So 3 number 1s and 3 number 2s, and we can't forget about Julius Randle, who broke his leg opening eye. The famous Julius Randle. See, but this is the stuff that people don't want to talk about. Smash the like, hit that subscribe. The thing is, LeBron can't even play in a system. Forget about the triangle. He cannot play in a system, period, because he needs to have the ball in his hands. LeBron does not. He doesn't play off the ball. Now, LeBron, what he does is that to make it seem like he does a lot, he will stand at either side of the wing or on the baseline, and he'll cut to the basket. That's cool and all, but catch and shoots. And so I'm going to say it again. What has LeBron sacrificed when it comes to his career? He hasn't. He still hasn't done it, and he's 37 years old. And Shannon Sharp and Nick Wright and all these fanboys lying for LeBron, Clutch Sports and all them, talking about how no one has ever been asked to do what LeBron has had to do. No one asked LeBron to do anything. LeBron is the one that chose to do that. He didn't have to take on that responsibility. LeBron chooses to sit out games, and then he'll come on his show, The Shop, and tell you, oh, well, there might be a kid out there that might not see me, for the last time, that might see me, for the one and only time. And I'm just saying to myself, but when you were in Cleveland in 2017, you said you have the right to sit out games if you want to, having 14 years in the NBA. But then you're going to sit here and tell me, damn if you do, damn if you don't? No. Well, Sean, the reason I say that he still brings more to the table is because of the fact that of Bron's production, despite the fact that he's not able to do that. Because you have to also remember something. And I will say this too, the fact that Jordan will still give you the eye test of how good he is, because he was able to give you 32, 8, and 8 in the season, which tells you that if he has the ball in his hands, Jordan can easily average just about a triple-double. He could do it. But it was a small sample size because he played a system. But if he wanted to, he could have done it. He could have. Which is why you would go and say, oh, well, how does he bring stuff to the table? All I see what this GOAT debate does is create a lot of disrespect. Bron has accomplished a lot. Kobe's accomplished a lot. Michael Jordan's accomplished a lot. But this is why LeBron can't be the greatest of all time. The Dallas Mavericks series forever ruined that. The Dallas Mavericks, when Magic Johnson, your good friend Magic, LeBron, says that he wants to see if you can guard Jason Terry. How do you get outplayed in your prime? How do you let a 6'2" player consistently drive by you on defense? Dirk Nowitzki only shot 41% in that series in 2011. And you know what your fans like to do? They keep trying to act like 2011 didn't even happen. And you know what they do also? They keep using Kobe as a crutch to say, oh, the Mavericks swept Kobe Bryant. You're right, they did sweep Kobe. They beat Portland, a good Portland team. Yeah, they beat the Young Thunder of Harden, Westbrook, and Durant. They did. But you were the favorites. You were the overwhelming favorites. People thought after game 1 you were going to win in about 4 or 5 games because they couldn't handle your athleticism and weight. The Mavericks were a very good defensive team. The Heat had the better defensive team. You were up 2-1. You scored 8 points in an NBA Finals game. You go scoreless in the fourth quarter. You've done it multiple times. I'm going to have a part 2. We'll continue this GOAT session, or I'm going to have a panel. And I'm going to ask the tough questions, and you will do your very best to answer them. But I had to get this off my chest because a day like today of what I saw, even when it comes to clutch stats, I've seen people cherry pick for Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron to try to make it, to try to make it favor them. There are much more hidden statistics that people don't do their research on. It's easy to say LeBron's got more game winners than Jordan. You guys sound desperate. You guys sound desperate. How can somebody be the greatest of all time and not only have to be self-validated, but they have to be validated by the media every single day, and they have to be validated by his own fan base? Is he really that great? Number 1 all-time great? Not in my book. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go to bed. Have a great night. We're going to revisit the discussion. Smash the like, hit that subscribe. And a future video that G Money just gave me an idea of is which championship means more? The 2011 Dallas Mavericks or the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers? Because I'm going to expose that in another video. But again, have a wonderful night, and we'll be back on the next one. Nets and Sixers. Make sure to pull up, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Have a wonderful night, and I'm gone.
You know, so many times, and I just wish they would just stop. You know what I mean? Just stop. I mean, he was, you know, Michael Jordan, I'm Kobe Bryant. I mean, we're 2 different players, and I wish people would just let it go. It really annoys me. Because, you know, you can't compare